So hello, here's your Niall Sebastian Powers Sieger from CIEmbassy.com, and I'm gonna do this video to speak about the past 3 years as well, the past 3 years in my life. I made myself public 3 years ago, a little bit more maybe, with a Facebook account where I was informing about universal communication, also with other creatures which have lived as human beings before. And this project Evolution Live became a total fail, and that for several reasons. One of the reasons was that humans, which did know about the Facebook page, were not listening to what I simply said. The next reason why that project Evolution Live became a fail was because they were not listening to the main points the creators, which showed themselves to the public, which have lived as human beings before, said. And these creatures, which have lived as human beings before, did create a big chaos, which I was showing to the public, so which I was trying to make transparent to the public. And this chaos in my life was created by these creatures which have lived as human beings before. In the most and biggest parts, which do not mean that I had not a part of my own life where I accepted that chaos would exist because of learning processes I did by myself regarding my own existence in the universe as a creature in my human body. So to learn stuff I can use as a creature in the universe. To build up my own features, if you want it like that, in sense of things I can do, and to collecting knowledge and lifetime experience for myself. That was before I showed myself to the public, but this kind of chaos still was going on when I showed myself to the public. On top of that, creators created even more chaos, which are not me. So third creatures which have lived as human beings before. And they communicated they want to inform the public about the possibility to communicate with ancestors with me on the old Facebook timeline, which is already deleted. If I look at this as the human who went through all that, some of them did lie. That's what I think. And I'm gonna give you a simple reason. I wanted to inform the public as simple as possible, me, Niall. And they created so much chaos that others lost themselves in the chaos. Instead of using simple communication methods like they could do, for example, by using wind, they used a lot of different communication ways combined, including influencing my human body in a way that I got confused. And being confused as a human being means, of course, it's harder to inform humans about universal communication. And because they communicated separate, that they are willing to support the best as possible that humans get informed about universal communication. I look back in time and I think maybe some of them have been absolutely unprofessional, or some of them lied for sure, and others maybe are willing to help. But because this chaos do exist now, even when the Facebook timeline is deleted, a lot of people saw that and judged me, the living human, for a chaos which was created by other creatures as well. And because of the fact that other creatures did influence my human body on a very high level and very badly for me, the human, which made it very hard to inform the public about universal communication. Because of these facts, I look at each individual I did communicate with in the past, I look at them as individuals. Some of these individuals wanted to attack later, and they destroyed my tries to inform the public easily about universal communication by attacking me. They attacked not for the purpose to show something to the public which would help humans in general. They did that to look strong by attacking a human with the possibilities they have. I would call them prods, because what they do is fake shit. I am a strong human, and I'm not impressed by these few creatures which did attack me in the past. Not impressed at all. Then there are other creatures which influenced my body in a way that the situation became worse than necessary to inform human beings. If these creatures wanted to help, but choose the wrong path, I'm thinking to myself, maybe these creatures are not the best communication partners up there for the future to inform humans about ancestor communication. The next thing is that some creatures I was in contact with to show universal communication, to make it transparent to the public, were communicating very simple and best as possible easy for me, without misguiding other humans through my human body, through putting too much effects on my human body that I could not explain the universal communication methods best as possible. So I'm thankful that I could help some creatures which did not harm my human body more than it is necessary. And I'm not so thankful for the other lifetime experience. Regarding the music project Evolution Live, which was on the other Facebook timeline, I want to be absolutely clear. As a human, I do have with my own lifetime experience. I'm not willing to cooperate with the most of the creatures which have lived as musicians before I was in contact with in the future. I am willing to give them the chance to speak out about the chaos some of them did create. Today, let me check the date. Today is the 12th of August in the year 2020. And I want that humans which came in contact with the project Evolution Live do understand, from my perspective, that project is a fail. I know you have seen and heard a lot of stuff which might impress you. And yes, I'm real. What I can do is real. What other creatures which have lived as human beings before can do is real too. The question is, if they are willing to use it in a way that all humans could get help with that, with the possibilities they do have or they would have to help mankind in general. That's the main important question. And my opinion is that a lot of the creatures I was in contact with, which have lived as musicians before, are mainly focused on putting up a show with the possibilities they have to, for example, use the natural environment for communication purpose, but it could be also get used to help humans to heal the natural environment we are all living in. And that's my priority, not to put up a big show. And it was my priority from the first moment on. Regarding the project Evolution Live, because the living humans, which are some of them are also musicians, have lost themselves in the music. That's what I think. Because of that, that project is a fail as well. And I think living musicians should understand that. And I want to be clear in general. If musicians would have understood what was communicated there correctly and would have them produced music about it to inform other humans correct, then I would have looked at the project Evolution Live today as a successful project. But that was not the case. Musicians were producing informations in their songs which are simply not true and which are simply not that what I shared on my Facebook timeline. And so I look at the project Evolution Live, and as a project which I called Evolution Live, and I have not called the project Mama Wants to Talk to Nile or Nile Wants to Talk to His Mom. No, I called it Evolution Live. So it was there to help others to understand universal communication better. And also my mom was very willing to help humans to understand universal communication, to understand the several different ways ancestors have to communicate with humans, and to understand that humans can understand that there would be high chances in very, very important fields, like to heal illnesses. Real illnesses where millions of people are affected from in their own life on planet Earth, like cancer. And that is very important. That symbionts can heal the natural environments in case humans would stop to destroy it the whole time. That is very important. And after many, many different important, very important points, after that, do come to communicate by using music. So if ancestors use musicians to communicate with living people which are able to outread the communication in the music, that comes after all the other important points. Because there are much easier ways to communicate with ancestors for living humans which can do so. And music, on that level how it do exist today on planet Earth, is not the best communication way if you want to have a complex communication with your own ancestors. It's just one of many communication methods. And people should understand that. Sorry for that. People should understand that. And there's another fail which was on my Facebook timeline. And I want musicians to understand that. I was forced into a trap, yes. And the reason is I have private feelings in my private life, me, Nile Sebastian Paul Sieger, for a woman, and she's a musician as well. But when I showed myself to the public with the Facebook timeline, that was before I was guided into that trap. And I showed myself to the public to inform all humans about chances all humans can use, not to make my private feelings public for that woman. And then I was forced into that trap. Then she was informed. And them creators which have lived as musicians as well, for example, Amy Winehouse and others, did all often force me into a situation where I then had to speak in public about my private feelings. And for me, that is absolutely stupid, that situation. Because I'm a living human who showed himself to the public to help everybody, to use chances which are there for everybody. And as a human, that is one woman I do love, and I'm one man. And it would be much more important than everything else to help the planet Earth, the natural environment to heal in general. And it would be much more important if illnesses get healed than wasting time because other creatures which have lived as humans before think that I would be interested in their opinion about my private feelings. It's absolutely stupid what I went through there. And beside that fact, my private feelings for that woman were also attacked by two individual creatures which did abuse the project Evolution Live, where I was trying to help everybody, just to attack my private life. So that's not only mean, that's also very stupid and simply not intelligent from their side. That's what I want to share regarding that whole topic. And in general, I want to be very clear regarding the future. I'm trying to help to inform about universal communication. And I'm not willing to cooperate with any creatures which have lived as human beings before if they start to abuse my human body or to influence my human body in a way that my most private feelings are then known in the public. I see that from their side as abusing a human, me, Niall. And I also think it is simply not intelligent to waste time with that regarding any kind of projects where I try to help humans in general to understand the possibility that they could communicate with their own ancestors in the future, or to help in certain fields where, for example, other creatures like the symbiont Ö1 would be able to heal illnesses or to repair the natural environment on planet Earth. It's simply not intelligent if other creatures do force me in such traps or do communicate over my human body to the public world about it. Because these are my private feelings. And if I get attacked there, and I always see it as an attack, it leads to a situation where I can spend less time to help there where everybody could receive help, all humans, if the data is good. It's simply not intelligent what I have seen there, and absolutely stupid from these creatures which have lived as human beings before, which did behave like that. And these are not all of the creatures I was in contact with, only some of them. And regarding music as a way to communicate with ancestors, I did show that music can be used to communicate with ancestors, for example, with my mom. And what happened then was that musicians lost themselves in the music. For example, if my mom is communicating with me by guiding my human body in a situation that I listen to one music song, it is highly possible that she only wants to transfer to me one word or a few words of the whole song. As soon as musicians think that the communication would be that the whole songs are important or the whole text in one song, they are totally wrong and totally misguided, and they totally lost themselves. And because it did happen in the past, I will concentrate myself on the other parts of universal communication in the future. Because so many musicians got lost without even speaking to me directly as a human. And I do not mean singing about something. I mean speaking to me directly as a human by calling my cell phone, by using Skype, by sending me an email, or by meeting me directly. Because so many musicians decided to speculate around, to lose themselves in speculations. Because of that, I want to be very clear. I only can help in the future regarding any kind of music projects because I'm not willing to help any other way than I published before, and that means that musicians alive, if they want to produce music with creators I'm in contact with, and if I should help there, they have to contact me directly. There will no Facebook timeline exist in the future from me, the living human, with my will, which gonna be like the other one which is already deleted, because it doesn't help. It just leads to a situation where people which are unable to practice universal communication do lose themselves in speculations. What the other Facebook page have shown to the public is, for example, that creatures which have lived as human beings before can create a lot of confusion in my human head. If that's happening, that's not helping other humans to understand universal communication as best as possible, because if I should inform about what I'm going through, it's better when I'm not confused instead of I'm confused. If my human body is influenced on such a high level that in the area where I do live, if there's always just chaos, then it do not help to inform human beings about the simple possibilities to communicate with their ancestors. If creatures, like my mom, for example, she did a mistake as well there, is dropping 1,000 books by guiding other human bodies to me, which then bring the books, to show that she can use the mirror system of the natural environment and also human bodies by soft touch to guide them and to communicate with me. Then it's simply not intelligent to do it in a way where it's getting too complex that other humans can understand that without losing themselves. So the project was a total fail. That's what I think. That's the messages which have received me also from creatures which have lived as human beings before, which, by the way, just wanted simply to inform their living family members that they should contact me, that I them help to build up a contact between them and their living family members so that they can communicate directly here in Bonn, which did not happen. And that's showing how big this fail was. And regarding this chaos which was produced in the past, from creatures which have lived as human beings before as well, because they were influencing my human body on a very high level, which were creating a lot of confusion in my human head and all that stuff. I don't see in the future that it makes sense to do another project like that, because I cannot see any positive results. I only can see that there was a Facebook timeline full of chaos. There was a Project Evolution Live where I tried to inform humans about several different ways to communicate with ancestors, and that ancestors can use several different methods to communicate with humans, separated or combined. But because of the chaos, I think the most people just mixed everything together and lost themselves. And because that is the case, it doesn't make sense for me to inform in that way in the future humans again. Because too many humans did lost themselves and too much music was produced where I can even hear that these human musicians just got misguided because they were singing about wrong stuff. I'm very sad to inform the public about that, especially the living humans which see chances and which have seen chances before. But I was trying to inform the public about what's going on, and I'm not going to hide from the fact that my life was turned into a total chaos. And of course, in a total chaos, it's easy to get lost. And that's what did happen to a lot of humans. And that was not the way I wanted it, is correct. That's absolutely correct. Regarding my private life, the people have to understand I'm not willing to support a situation where my private life in the future will be part of the public opinion, because it's my private life. And I do feel for a woman which do have a public and a private life. That's the way I think musicians can easily look at that shit. And the situation, the trap which was presented there to the public and she was guided into that shit as well. And it's an absolutely embarrassing situation. That's how I look at it. And absolutely shameful for two humans, her and me. That's how I look at it. Maybe she thinks different, but that's just because she do not have the knowledge about the universal potential ancestors can use, or creatures which have lived as human beings before, to abuse living humans. Because often if they do so, the humans do think they did decide by themselves. Because they can attack humans undercover or in a way where they show themselves. And I think to her it happened that she got attacked undercover. To me, I got attacked in a way the public could see it. But me as a creature in my human body, born in my human body in the year 1984 in Germany, I want to make absolutely clear that my private life do not belong to the public. If I show with my mom, for example, universal communication, what we do there is that we separate our most private feelings, which are not for the public, and our lifetime where we try to show the public that creatures which have lived as human beings before, so ancestors of living humans, for example, can communicate with living humans, so their own family members, sons, sisters, and so on. And that's very helpful, I think, for all the humans which do miss some of their ancestors because they think they are lost, and they are often not. But it's absolutely important, I think, for the public to understand if creatures do abuse my private feelings or me as a human in the future, if they abuse or create a situation where they push me into the public with my most private feelings for that woman which is a musician, then these creatures, they lead to a situation that I cannot help as best as possible as I could help if that would not happen. So in that way, these creatures which do so, which do guide me into traps regarding my private life and stuff like that, these creatures never can tell me, not even in the future, that they were doing their best to inform the public in general about the chances which them could be used by everybody. No, my own opinion about it is they created a chaos, they guided me into a trap. I got abused in that way, and the woman I do love got abused as well. And they got abused from a few individuals which were trying to put up there a big show, which were trying to look strong to the public world, to the living humans, because they can use the natural environment to communicate or to attack humans and stuff like that. I'm not impressed by that because I'm a creature inside my human body by myself. After I've lost this human body later, so when I'm up there in the universe as a creature, I'm not weak. I'm very, very strong. So I'm not easy to impress, even if I get attacked from creatures which have lived as human beings before, and even if they use my human body, my own human body, to attack me as a creature, or even if they attack me through the natural environment. For example, there's data online where I get attacked from bees. So these are situations, if I get attacked by them, where mostly until this day a creature which have lived as a human before, Whitney Houston, is abusing these animals to attack me. I'm not getting impressed easy as a creature by that, but of course if these attacks do happen daily, I get very stressed. And if I'm very stressed, I cannot do my best to inform the public about the real chances the universe do provide to living humans. And that's just some individual shit, where an individual like Whitney Houston did decide to attack me, a living human, who was trying to help all the other living humans to understand universal communication better. That's the way I look at it. And she's trying to look strong by attacking me, by bringing me into a situation where I can be not so productive, to look strong to the public, which then sees always the data where bees, for example, do attack me. And that's absolutely weak and not strong from these creatures which do behave like that. I want to make that point very clear. And it will not help humans for the future. I want to be clear, if I do universal communications, humans have to understand, I always deal with individuals. Some of them are naturally not intelligent. Some of them are socialized in the same way as they have been socialized as humans. So if you have a stupid idiot who thinks he can act like a very strong guy by using, for example, a gun to shoot somebody. No, it's a fucking freak, a weak idiot who have to use a gun to shoot somebody. He uses the method of using a gun which was produced by others, instead of being strong by himself. And it's the same if you deal with creatures which try to make themselves up. For example, if they abuse humans by abusing symbionts also. Because it's not the natural power they have by themselves, it's that they can use a third creature like a symbiont to attack humans. It's absolutely weak if they do so, and not strong. That's the way I look at this shit. In case the creatures like the symbiont get used by ancestors for good stuff, for example, to heal illnesses, to heal the natural environment, that will be stuff where the symbiont himself will look at it and will say, okay, I potentially support that. Because I had to be used as the symbiont Ö1, not me the living human, the symbiont Ö1 I'm talking now about. I had to be used by a creature who have lived as a human being before to communicate with the living human, to help the natural environment I'm living in, planet Earth. But if the symbiont Ö1 get abused by ancestors to just attack humans so that they look strong, they are not. They are not strong. It's absolutely a weak behavior, simply not intelligent, to disturb people which are trying to inform all humans about the possibilities and the real chances the universe do provide. And in that way, they do not only attack these humans which are trying to help everybody, they are also attacking the natural environment all of us, the living humans, do live in. By producing a chaos, which leads them to a situation where humans lose themselves instead of understand universal communication better. It's simply not intelligent, it's stupid. So I apologize by myself that I have not stopped the Project Evolution live earlier. Me, Niall Sebastian Pauer-Sieger. And regarding the future, I will try to inform the public, like I did before, about universal communication, and to make clear the real chances the universe do provide and other creatures by the stuff they communicated for themselves. For example, the symbiont Ö1. But humans should understand that me as a human, I get often attacked or stressed by creatures which have lived as human beings before, ancestors, for example. But not I do attack them first. It's just because they think they can act cool by doing so, and they cannot. They cannot impress me by that shit. So if I can give you an advice that the people which are watching this video material, do not get impressed by that shit. Yes, they can use the natural environment. Yes, they can torture humans. And yes, they can kill humans. But that's not my level, how you can impress me now. Thanks for watching. You're Niall Sebastian Pauer-Sieger, born 1984 in Braunschweig. Oh, and by the way, in the future I will try to inform about universal communication, very different and much more specific. Because everything was mixed up, that you just could see such a chaos before on the Facebook timeline in the Project Evolution Live, and that did not help because you lost yourself, if you have lost yourself there, because that did not help. I was trying to help, and I will keep doing that in the future. And for the living musicians, that you guys understand that, in case my human body is getting abused, that other creatures communicate about my private life or my private feelings for the woman I do love, which is a musician. I do not accept that. These creatures which do so do abuse humans against their will, for example me. Thank you very much for watching. You're Niall Sebastian Pauer-Sieger.